No way you guys started without me.
I gotta be kidding. Hey everybody, this is Thursday, September 30th. I'm John Zidar. On behalf of PB Alerts, giving you the alerts you want, but the training that you really need, this is at the top and hot. I like to look at stocks that are going to run on the OTC market. Not necessarily always a penny stock, but in most cases, that's where the biggest gains are at. And that's what we're really looking for, the biggest gains. Now, we can look at a lot of different things. We can look at the news, technicals, and it all counts. Right now, we have been focusing on the going current situation. The OTC market had a new law just passed, and September 28th was the last day for companies to file their financials on time and get caught up. If they weren't, they got yanked off the market. We lost 1,300 companies just 2 days ago, got yanked off the market. They are struggling to get back on the market. The prices are falling on the expert market. This is between marketeers and brokers, and the prices are falling. When they come back on the market, they're super low and jumping back to where they normally were. And these increases are 10,000, 30,000, 80,000% and even more. And we're not talking with one or two trades. We are talking 200, 300 trades with a million or more shares. So these are being traded. These are not one buy wonders. So let's go jump in and look at a list that we made for yesterday. And then we will take a look at the DD that we're going to do today. Now we will focus in on current, but we're not going to overlook things that might just be natural, normal catalysts for pink stocks, normal plays. So we're not only looking at risky, tight, small window plays, but we're looking at normal plays that you can get into the way you're accustomed to and play them the way you're accustomed to. So let's take a look right now. So this is where I do all my heavy lifting. This is TOS, Think or Swim. It's a free platform you can get from TD Ameritrade. Just sign up with them, get the account. You don't actually have to spend any money and trade with them. Just sign up. That's free too. And they'll give you a link. You can download this. You know, they'll even give you 45 minutes of free instruction over the phone and remote control on your computer. They'll set it up for you and answer your questions. All for free. You can't beat that with a stick. All right. I've got this set up right now. Over here, we will be looking at our 4-hour, 6-month view, so you can always get a gander at the stock that we're currently looking at, which will normally be in the 5-minute, 5-day, but God only knows where we end up. This is our list that we generated yesterday. Now, there are a couple added in here. I have the one list I watch all day, and sometimes people give me tips in my Facebook or on Twitter. I'll catch something, and I throw it in here. There's something I want to watch. So there are a couple added here. JZZI was one. TGGI was another. The rest were all generated from us last night. And to be honest, not a lot going on, folks. There really wasn't a ton of activity today. Now, with these sort of stocks we're looking at, it's not about catalysts. It's about filing. They've got their filings in. They finally all caught up. So now we're waiting for the thumbs up to be given by FINRA and the SEC so that they go back on the open market. They didn't quite make it. Truth of the matter is, this one right here, TGMR, was my favorite. Looking at this one at 0004, its high not too long ago was 95 cents. That gives this stock a potential of, you ready for this? I'm not lying, 234,000%. A $100 investment, if you got it on the floor, would get you virtually $250,000 in one day. That's right, these are jumping in hours, or at the longest a day, but many of them are just a very short band of time, and they are back to where they were supposed to be, off of the basement floor. And it's how I watch this one all day, because it's ready. It looks like it's ready to pop. The one we looked at yesterday, I said the same thing, and it did pop, and I missed it. And it went 89,000%. So I had this set up today for a buy at 005, and I had a couple $100 put on it. And the reason I was so high is because when this starts at the bottom, folks, it's going to jump fast. It's going to move fast, and I got to have it catch me and just take me along with it. So That is how I had it set, and I watched this all day. I am not lying, with my finger hovering on my mouse, waiting to buy as soon as I saw, because you can come over here, right here, and you can see real-time trades. As soon as a trade happens, you see it. And I watched this black spot right there, and I waited to see any light come up, red or green. I didn't care. My order was going in, and if it came in under, that would have been great. But keep this in mind, folks. If you're investing $100 and you're looking to get in, let's just make it easy conversation, and you're buying at a 001. So you're going to get yourself, what is that, 100,000 shares for $1. Or is that, no, 10,000 shares for $100. But if the price comes in at 0005, you're still only going to get the amount of shares you asked for, but you're going to get them for, what, half the price. So now you've only got half the investment. You do have the share count, but you don't have the investment. So it's a tricky thing. I think they ought to have a button that you just put in $500, and when you push buy, whatever the price is, it calculates it out and gives you that amount of shares. That would sure make bidding easy for me, because I got to keep figuring out how many shares since I missed it. The price is moving. Now how many shares can I get? And it's a horrible way to be trading, and it's a big way to waste a lot of time. So we didn't do anything here really. Jazz did. Now folks, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to be straight and honest and fair with you. This was the one I got into today. It did not go exactly the way I hoped, but it did go the way I had planned. Let me tell you what I mean. I got a tip on this from a friend. He said to watch it, so I put it in the list. It started to take off. Now I will break this down, and I'm not going to take too long here, but I just want to show you none of these lines are here. I didn't have any lines. The bell went off. The first minute it took a big jump, and that's what took my notice. I saw it jump, so I was watching it the first minute. You can't see it. Let me come in here. The second minute is when I got in. Now this bottom line is my price. I got in for 115. That's where I got in. And it took a dip and it went down. Now it looks really rough on the 1 minute chart. That looks hard. But to be honest, as soon as I make a buy, I get off the 1 minute chart. I am on it to get my buy. I am looking for the price, but I am off it as soon as I have it. And I come over to the 5 minute chart. That's normally where I live. So this is what I started seeing. I seen 2 dips come down, boom, boom, and I don't like that. 2 drops is normally where I'll get out. Now when I got into this, it was just a percentage play. I had done no DD. I knew nothing about the company. Partway through the day, I discovered there was news today. They had an acquisition. They got a hold of another company. And it's like, oh, well, this one may be more than a morning bounce. I would normally get out by 10 in the morning on just a volume play, a percentage play. So you can see it started to climb very quickly here. And since I found out there was news, I wrote it out. Now, as soon as it started to fall here, I put in my second line. Now, where did I come up with this second line? Where did I come up with my line of support, which is what that is, a resistance support? I'm on top of it, so I'm hoping it's going to hold me up, that support. Anytime I see a big surge or a big fall, I automatically draw a center line into it if the price starts moving the opposite direction. So when we had this big surge and I seen it start falling, I immediately drew a center line. Why do I do that? First off, think of it this way, easiest terms. The stock market's working on algorithms, all sorts of algorithms. But an algorithm is based on averages. And the best perfect average of anything is the center. That is a perfect means. So I always constitute that as a factor in the algorithm. So I drew that line there and I started using that as my baseline for where the price went. If it went below that too far, I got scared and started looking. Now you can see we did bounce off the 20 here, and that's what I was watching, was the 20. Got way up here, hit a high bubble. I knew it was going to pull back. Now because there was news today and the day seemed sort of cheerful until we had all these bigwigs get on TV and start talking this afternoon, it started to fall. Now I saw it come through all of my SMAs here and it didn't look good. So I jumped over to the 15 minute to get a bigger picture to see if it was testing anything else. And it was. Right here is where I was studying it. This one and this one, they were coming down to this 20. And I was thinking it would bounce off it. When it got so close, I drew my absolute bottom line across, and this was out, but that was my get out line. This was my support. That's my get out line. Now, I did miss my high, and I did get out. It went below that line here. I seen it come way down here, and I got out. And it did go further and did not come much further up. Now, I didn't get as much as I could have, but that's not the name of the game. Do you know how many times I screw up trying to find the top? That in itself is just a fool's game. The idea each day is to walk away with money in your pocket, not to get the absolute most you can get, because that's when risk gets higher. Risk control. I was monitoring my risk here. I did not get as much as I could have, but I did get gains. I didn't get 77%, I got 43%. I'm okay with that, folks. I didn't lose any money, and I stayed within my plan, so everything went good. All right, let's go jump into the OTCmarkets.com site and start our DD. We're going to look at going current. Those will be experts. We will also look at any pinks that look like they have got some hellacious catalyst. Why not, right? So let's jump over there. So if you're not familiar with the OTCmarkets.com site, this is it. This is my home because I trade OTC stocks mostly. So why would I come here? It's boring looking. It's got no pizzazz or anything. Exactly. They're not trying to attract business because they're not in business. This is a housing site for information for OTC stocks for the investors. The SEC and the FINRA supply all the documents, all the filings, all of the stock information. It's all right here and current. Why go running around on the internet getting stuff that's months old or years old and trying to get it sorted out? Right here. It's all sorted out for you. Okay, the first thing I want us to take a look at is the way the market finished today. If you are on this page, I don't care if you go to 100 different sites on this page, different pages, you must refresh the page up here if you want these numbers to change. What we can see here is we've got a few more securities come back. What do I mean? Well, we had 12,800 2 days ago, and 1,300 were pulled off the market, remember? And we're up now about 40. There were like 11,580 yesterday, so some are coming back, and that's the ones we're looking for. Those are the plays. Dollar volume, 2.2 billion, just above our 2.1 billion, which is our average lately. Share volume, whoa, good to see that. We have been in the low 20s, even the teens, which is horrific volume. 30,000 is low. We were at 33 today. I could almost call that glowing embers. Our trades, we only had 450,000 trades today. This should be up near 600,000 if you want good days. But last week it was in the 300s. So again, it is coming up. That's all good for us. All right, so what I'm going to do today, we're going to start over on, why don't we look at the news? We will look at filings first since there's not as many of those as the others. What I do is I come over to, in case you didn't miss, you missed that, I come over to news. That will bring you to this page. Now, we're not looking at the news, so that's a great place to keep up with catalysts. This is all the OTC news that comes in here, and it's in chronological order, so whatever is at the top just came out. You catch a hot piece of news, you've just caught yourself a fresh hot piece of news. Go check it out, see if it's moving. You may have something there. But down here are all the financial reports. That is only financial reports. 10Ks are your annuals, 10Qs your quarterly, and your disclosures for pink. Those are normally not audited, so they need to come with an accompanying attorney letter to make them valid. And down here you have all the SEC filings where you can find 8Ks, which are material changes. Those are diamonds in the rough. You can find mergers being announced there before they even do press releases. You find goodies down here, but it takes time. Just click the link, open it up, and you can get it. And normally an 8K is not too long. They'll get right to the point and tell you what's going on. So we are focusing in, though, on financial reports. Now, financial reports don't give us any prices. They don't tell us anything about the charts. They just tell us what has happened, and you can see for what periods. And what we're primarily looking for are dates that are much current, close to us, like July. That is the second quarter of this year. This is a yield sign. Now, we were playing yield signs before September 28th because they were frantically trying to get current. And we were excited that we weren't going to have to worry about being yanked off the market. But since the September 28th deadline, the double diamonds have been furious. I've never seen growths as big as this in my life. Not in a week, not in a month, not in a year, and these are happening not even in a day, but in hours. So right here we have an annual report. It is a disclosure, meaning they still are going to need an attorney letter attached to this. This is for this year, so let's go take a look. Now if you click this, it is going to take you straight to a summary page for that stock. You'll be able to get an overview which gives you information at the bottom, the most current news, the most current filings, trade data. You can get quotes, company profiles, see what they're doing right there in a heartbeat. Security details, you can always see how many shares they have here. Been updated this month. This has only 59. What? What? Folks, whoa, look. That's not 59 million. That's 59,000. 59,000 shares out of 461 million? No way. I don't know what to think about that. I think I skipped a beat. Holy cow. You can get the news here, and the news isn't just going to be press releases, but you can get other news from other places around the internet. They don't have much. Financial disclosures. Normally you can get a real quick glance over the last couple of years just sitting here. And then you can get disclosures like we're looking at now. And this will tell us how many disclosures they've had here recently. And looks like they've only had the one. Now if I go to inactive, are we going to see anything else? Nothing current. And how about all? Lately I've been surprised just hitting these buttons that they're so different. So we've got one. Okay, that's okay. When you're in the pits, you see any light, it feels good. This is light. Now, it's not exactly current. That is to say, they're not ready to come out of the dark. They still need that attorney letter. If we look at this, I'm sure this is a pink disclosure. Yes, basic pink disclosure. This will be unaudited. Normally it says that here somewhere, but you need an attorney letter with these, and that makes it valid. That will get them moved up. They are delinquent. They're late. Verified profile, you need that. That's very good. Transfer agent verified. Perfect. That means your shares are being handled legally. You won't have any problems later. And a shell company means they're not making any money. And if they say they're doing stuff and not making money, that's a problem. But if they are cleaning house and emptying out for some new company to move in, that's called a reverse merger. And that would be perfect. All right, enough gabbing about all that. Let's go take a look at this chart and see what it looks like. Okay, folks, this is what we get, and this is what you normally get. Now, I noticed there was no skull and crossbones on there. It wasn't in danger. But yesterday, virtually every expert market we looked at had a chart come up, which surprised me because I'm not used to seeing charts come up for stocks that aren't available to buy. But this is what you get. Well, except for the little movie I tossed up there. But outside of that, they don't give you anything. See, I'm better than they are. So, are we going to throw this on our list? First thing I'm going to do is take all this down. We do want a new list, right? Now, this is in the video. If you need this list again, if you didn't get it, it is still in the video from yesterday. So it's not lost. That's where I keep going every time I mess up. All right, I'm going to throw this in there. Now, this still needs another document. It needs the attorney letter before it's going to go current. So keep that in mind. All right, well, click the more button here and kick this out. See what else we got going on here. For the 30th, I don't see a lot. We may be digging into the runners, those that did big. Now, we looked at this one yesterday. I don't know why it did not get put on our list, so let's just look at it again. Ooh, 2019, is that old? I wonder if they have any more come out. Okay, Trip Technologies, not a bad name. Expert market, no skull and crossbones. Right here, there can be a skull and crossbones, which means there is more to it than just we see. This is just being late. Dark and defunct is just another term for being late. They've got all the green. They're a shell company, but that's not a concern right now. We're coming down to trade data to see if there was any trade today. No, we only had one trade 2 days ago, and it moved from $1.05 down to 75 down to 26 cents. So it is falling, but that's over months. This doesn't look to have a lot going for it right now. Let's see if there's any more disclosures that did come out. Yeah, like I said, we saw one yesterday. That was for 2020. This one's for 2019. They still don't have the quarterlies for 2021, an annual for 2021, and these are most likely disclosures, so they're going to need an attorney letter for all of them. Yes. So I'm not going to put trips up on the board. It just doesn't, it's not anything I see as being worthy of the next week. It'll probably be longer than that. Quarterly report, just current, that's good. TKCI, let's take a look at TKCI and see what we got. Turnkey capital, everything is what we expect, just like the rest, without any skull and crossbones. Oh, we have had no sales. There is nothing going on with this one. Do we have any news? Not for a few months. And just the one report today. That's it. Again, I don't see a whole lot going on here. 2021, it is current, and so was the last one back. So they're even on time. I mean, that was done, and that's the first quarter. I don't get it. So this one doesn't make sense to me, but it also doesn't look like it's going to make anybody any money. Not exciting, but you know, that's part of DD. You go through a lot of rocks before you find a nugget of gold. Annual report for last year. Take a glance over at this one. Expert market verified transfer agent. Perfect. That all looks good. We got any trade data going on? No, nothing going on here. And we only had the one annual report here today. 2 weeks ago, they had another annual report. Again, I don't see that this is even set up to move. Moving right along, wasting no time here. Don't always have to dilly-dally and gab. All right, where are we at? We're still on 9:30. This is still today, so I haven't broke free. Okay, we just crossed over. Now, I just want to look, see if anything happened to come in late. I forget what the very first one we looked at is, but that's too far in. Okay, folks, that is really all the digging we can do on that. So we are going to go look at the runners of today, which you come over here to closing or current market. I like current market. This will bring you to the most active page, and you can look at this all day long. All day, this will give you information. Now, this is not a live streaming page. You have to hit the refresh button in the corner if you're on your computer, or refresh it on your phone if you want to see the new data. But this data is keeping you in touch with how many people are in line for whatever movie is showing. And that's what I like. I don't want to watch every commercial for every movie. They've already watched the commercials. I just want to see the lines. I'll trust they've picked a good movie. So this tells us which movies are getting the most people. You can look by trades, or you can look by share volume, or you can look by dollar volume. It's your choice, however you prefer to look. You can't search by percentage change here, but that's what the bottom two boxes are for. This is for gainers, this is for the losers, and they're already in the right order for you. Now, you do have the option of looking on the OTC markets for stocks over $1, over 5 cents, or all of them. We're going to go look at all of them. Now, I'm going to kick out this more now. What are we looking for? People. We are looking for people, so we're basically equating trades to people. Now, it's not a one-to-one. Most good traders have multiple purchases, whether they buy in and then on a dip, or they buy in and then buy in and buy in, scaling up. But you do know that 399 people can easily be 200, 250, and that's a crowd. Compared to 2 people standing in line for a movie, pretty bloody easy to decide which movie is probably going to be better. So we look at that, and we're going to look at this right now. That is 399. They only did 200,000 shares today. Did almost $250,000. It's not a cheap stock. It's at $1.24, but it did 264% gains. So I'm figuring if you got a lot of people and you got a lot of percentage gains, there must be a catalyst, especially if you're not running from anything out of fear like all the plays we've been looking at. So this is what a normal stock looks like on this page. You get its status up here. Pink current information is what you're supposed to be. That is perfect. Verified profile just last month. Transfer agent verified. Shell risk. So until we judge that shell risk, we need to look into their history, which we're not going to do, just saying. You see the price up here and the price gain. And here's your choices of information. Now if you just scroll to the bottom, you can get that current news and current filings just at a glance. Here we go, 9/21/2021. They had news, but that's not very new. And today, they came out with supplemental information, change in company shell status. So that's obviously got people interested, whatever's in here. Maybe they've moved out of being a shell status. Let me see. Bounce Mobile Systems has current assets of $100,000 in cash. Has non-current assets of $124 million and has liabilities of $95,000. Well, just looking at those numbers, right? Just looking at those numbers, they're not in bad shape. Now, I don't know if that's what you would call a catalyst, but it shows that they're not down and out. So just out of curiosity's sake, let's go over there then and check this out on the chart just to see what it looks like. Okay, let me see. This is the 15-minute. It's coming on the 5 over here. Remember, you have the 6-month look. That is a huge jump today. Whew. Wow. See? And now, we didn't read the rest of that. They may be in business now. They may have something. We didn't read it all. But the numbers themselves, it's not as bad as shell risk sounds. So there was definitely a jump on that. However, do we think that's going to continue going from this point? Let me take a look back. Let's go 1 month. She was flat, folks. She was flat through here. I can see that. She had some bounces. Right around here is her average. I mean, her average means, you can see that's about the middle of all the action. So you're looking at about 56, 57 cents there. And it's up to $1.24. No, I don't see this continuing running now. In saying that, let's come down to the 5-minute. I want to see how it ended. Because if there was still potential, if it was running up to the bell, we see the volume is increasing, the price is increasing, the MACD is risen, the RSI is in the red and burning. Well, you know, when the bell stops it, that didn't stop the way people felt. And the truth of the matter is that not all the orders got filled. There are many orders that are still in the queue on that uprising on price that want these stocks. So the first thing in the morning when the bell goes off, it's like someone hits that pause button and the ball continues rising in the air. So we look for that to see if the setup is here, which it is not. Everything is down. Everything is calm. It's pretty much found its plateau, and it'll probably go sideways for a while. All right, let's jump back and see if we can find something worthy. All right, I noticed something up here at the very top. You see this one here? This one had 49,000% gains today. I own this one. Sure do. I even saw that 49,000% gains move on my portfolio. I did. The problem is I bought this back in 2018. And I had about 140 different stocks at the time, and it fell down to the bottom, and I was watching all the greens. I only went down to the bottom to buy a super dip, you know, get yourself a good average down. Outside of that, I was only monitoring the greens, and this fell off at some point. I don't even know when it fell off, and then it fell down, and from my price, it went all the way down to 0004, which is where it was sitting this morning, and I saw the ask. You know, I look at these things each day, and I saw the ask was 5 cents. And I said, who the heck is going to pay 5 cents for a 0004 stock? I was kind of angry. It's like, that's impossible. That's not fair. Put a serious ask on there, and somebody might buy it. Well, to my surprise, somebody bought it. And I watched my stock jump 49,000%. So now I'm only 35% down on my stock. I can't trade it. I can't buy it or sell it. So I'm just a victim of watching whatever happens to it right now until it gets back in my boat. But look, it only took 7 trades. And that's not 7 people. You know, you can't guarantee that. But we do know it was 7 trades. That was all that it took to move 49,000% and put me back at least in the game. All right, we were way down here at $3.99, and we're looking for, holy cow, what's this? 11,356 with 7.6 billion shares being sold today. Only $20,000. It went up 138%, which means it was down at about 1.5 cents, roughly that this morning. Maybe even 1.2, or I'm sorry, 0.0012. I hate saying those zeros. All right, we're going to go take a look at this. There has to be a reason it moved. And normally you can find that reason on the summary page just by looking at the current news and the current filings. So we've got a price of 0.0031 with 138%. Pink limited information, no verified profile, no verified transfer agent. Concerning. So what news has stimulated it? They have no news, no filings. So what do? I can see there, a Manny Gold Limit is targeting exploration flagship project. All right, what do I do when I have no news, but I can see it's running? Looking at the chart isn't going to give me any extra news that I really need. I go over to Twitter, the big gossip joint. Man, these folks are in every corner of every room picking out news. They will watch the volume. They will watch the size of purchases. They will tell you when a filing has come out, what's in the filings. They will pick them to death. They will even match phone numbers and addresses of different companies to see if there's mergers going on. So I love to go over and look at Thousand Eyes to see if we can ever get any deals. All right, BRYYF up to 0.0035. It could rise, but it does not have to. Very funny, very funny. Let's see if we can find any news here. Annual report is out. This is 16 hours ago, so that's still valid information. They have a big gold mine. Millions of shares exercised when the price hits 0.0125. I wonder if that's what happened. Current price 0.0013. Merrill Lynch owns 14.4% of the shares. Some strong institutional sales. So obviously it has to do with the information that is inside that current 10K or 10Q. So just out of curiosity, let's go take a look at that chart and see if she looks like she has anything more to give for tomorrow. She may be set up for a morning bounce. We don't just have to take current plays. All right, let's throw that in there and see what we get. Wow, folks, look at that. Wow, that must have been one heck of a report. All right, so she has been, I wonder what all those arrows are for. This has had my attention before, a long time ago. That was back in May. I got a bunch of arrows on there. I don't know why. Gee whiz. Looks like I was calling it the fall. And it did. All right, here's our, that's the last day, right? Sure is. That is today. So it was just flatlining down here at 0012. What did I tell you, folks? 0012. I can do my math. And she has been climbing all day. She hit a high bubble, fell off that high bubble. That's normal, though I don't expect that far of a fall. Tested the 20. Let's see what that looks like on the 15. How dangerous? See, it was still way up above the 20. When that fall came on the 5-minute, it looked scary because that's only 5 minutes of time. But if you've got 3 hours left in the day, you may want to look at the 15-minute chart and see if it's really as bad as you think. This wasn't bad. It just looked bad on the 5-minute. So again, how did the day end? Well, she fell underneath the 200. By golly, where is it? There it is. She has volume. She was on a climb. But MACD is nothing. RSI is nothing. I wouldn't count this to run tomorrow. That doesn't mean that she can't. Doesn't mean she won't. It just doesn't look like she's set up for it. And after she's had a big bounce off of one filing, I don't know that there's going to be any more out of it. So I'm not even going to put that one on our list. If you want to, that's BRYYF. brief. Now don't get too accustomed to seeing over 10,000 trades on a stock. I like seeing over 1,000, but even that's not common. Go ahead. Make me a liar. Well, there you go, 4,278 trades. Nice number. Oh, that's my day trade today, JZZI. She did 226 million shares today and 76% gains. Now, I know for a fact she had news. I know that was her catalyst. And that's what you would come over here looking for. You'd scroll down to the bottom and you'd see right there for today, she has news. JZZ Technologies completes acquisition of Florida-based agency, Beacon Insurance Solutions. So that is what had it running. Now, we had already seen the chart, so we're not going to go take another look at it. I got out of it. It looked like it was going to go sideways to me, but, you know, you hope you pick stocks that continue growing. Just because you get out of them and they continue growing, don't get upset. Pat yourself on the back for being able to find stocks that grow and don't just have blips. Okay, let's come back here then. I want another one. I would like a play for tomorrow, which I don't really feel we have found yet. Wow. Okay, we're getting some action down here. MCHN is pink. SCNA, that's Smart Cannabis. Smart Cannabis did huge the other day. I mean, huge. I think it was like 6,000, 8,000% gains. It was giant. I don't think they were skull and crossbones or expert, but they may have been. So which one do we want to look at? Well, okay. This one was brought to my attention 3 times today, and I don't think it stopped climbing. I think this thing climbed all day. ICOA. 3,622 trades. Figure there's at least 3,000 people there. Over 252 million shares. 60% gains today. Let's go take a look at that. So they are verified, transfer agent. That all looks good, folks. Always make sure this box up here is green without any warnings. So if we come on down, let's see what we had. No new news, not for over a month. And gee whiz, no new attorney letters. Now, that's what it was. That is what it was. And I'm sure if we go over to Twitter, we'll see this. And that's how you can find out. I am almost sure that they were not pink current. I don't think they were pink current. I think they just went pink current, which is what got everybody so excited today. Let's see what we got. First acquisition announcement tomorrow. That was 3 hours ago. Well, first acquisition announcement tomorrow. The 2.59 billion share cancellation is official. Well, there's a second piece of news. Transfer agents can be slow to reflect numbers on the OTC market, but we confirm. Oh, and look, folks, always consider the source of the information. This is coming from them themselves. This is their Twitter account. So they are telling us that 2.59 billion shares are going to be canceled. They're going to take those off, but we confirm again that the cancellation has been sent to the transfer agent. There's another piece of news from them. First acquisition announcement tomorrow. So people got in today on all the promises and all the foresights of what's going to go on, obviously. So there's lots of catalysts sitting here right now. Anything different? Anything new? No, that seems to be about it. 2.5 billion. Now, we never did take a look at the share count on that. Let's see what we got. Boy, still got a lot of windows up, don't I? Come to security details, you can get the share count. So they got 10 billion authorized in the shares. 8 billion. So if, all right, they can't take the shares off the market. That they can't do. That's called a buyback. They would have to buy them and then throw them away. It is what? 25% of all their shares. So that's a good thing. That's extra shareholder value. You can't complain about that. And out of that 8 billion, 8.5 billion in the outstanding shares, which is for everybody. The institutions, the management, the insiders, they get to trade all of that, and you and me. But if you take off everything they own, we get almost 6 billion shares between us common folk down here on the trading floor. So there's quite a lot of shares. And the other thing is that they are getting a acquisition. Maybe there's some more information around there what the acquisition is. That would probably help. But as you can see, the price was already rising, and I expect it to rise some more. So let's throw that bad boy in there and see what we get. All right, she has been meandering. Look at that. Just nothing to get excited about until today. And it blasted off. You had some profit takers here. Come on, you know you're going to have that. It's bloody high compared to where it was. And then it climbed the rest of the day. And again, it hit a high bubble. I was going to blame profit takers, though I'm sure when that high bubble was hit and it started to fall, they did start selling, which is probably why you have 4 5-minute time bars instead of just 2 5-minute time bars falling. But, excuse me, if you look at this chart, it is very strong. It is very strong. This is the 6-month 4-hour. That's called parabolic, folks. If you ever wanted a definition, this is the picture they use in the dictionary. Parabolic. This is what we love to see. Close up doesn't look exactly like that, but you can see the volume is increasing. It is getting stronger. The price was increasing. Even though it hit that high bubble, all the SMAs are still going in the right direction. And you can see that one tag, which was probably sold at 4 o'clock, it was. Just a sneak of orders got sold after the bell, which tells you there were shares in the queue when the bell went off, but they can only process so many before they have to stop. And they'll pick back up tomorrow morning. And those shares that are going for higher prices will be waiting to be bought tomorrow and will kick the price up, which is normally why we put our price in above it. But you can be smart. You can wait for it to jump and then dip and then buy the dip and go from there. A lot of people like to make a small purchase at the bell and then hold a reserve to either buy the dip or scale up once the decision of which direction it's going to go has been made. So this has a strong MACD. The RSI is at 67. Of course, I like it in the red. It's approaching oversold. I'm going to put this on the list as a good morning trade for tomorrow. ICOA. So which one was that we looked at? ICOA. Okay, Smart Cannabis. I'm going to look at Smart Cannabis because I'm in cannabis. I would like to at least keep up with it. I think you should be in cannabis. Why do I say that? Well, forget about the catalysts that are imminent. We will get banking sooner or later, and that is going to be huge. Once we have banking, all the money is going to go into the banks. Man, there's like $22 billion shoved under mattresses and stuffed in closets right now that's not allowed in the banks. That's going to be used for loans. That's going to help. That's going into the banks, and they're going to be able to get loans, but what they also get are tax cuts. They now get to deduct taxes like everybody else. We have not been able to deduct 1 penny for anything. We have to pay 100% tax on 100% gross. So what's that going to do to the bottom lines on their financials? It's going to change them drastically. When it goes decriminalized or legal, it's going to bounce. But none of those reasons are what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when an imminent crash comes, when the market hits a bubble and bursts, when there's a big downtrend like COVID, which was what turned cannabis around. March 28th was the bottom of a 2-year drop on cannabis. I can pinpoint it and you can see it on the charts. Why? Because cannabis makes municipalities money. Why? Because it's a sin stock. What's a sin stock? That's anything we like to entertain ourselves with. Alcohol, cigarettes, casinos, movies, gaming, anything, including cannabis. And during COVID, cannabis was doing well. Municipalities were making tax monies for their cities, and we got to feel, well, calm. So if anything bad goes on in the market, a cannabis stock continues to thrive because it is recession proof. It is bubble proof because people, even the poorest of people, always have their cigarettes, always have their booze, always have their cannabis. They keep their entertainment. Somehow they manage to come up with enough money to daily keep up with those. So I anticipate cannabis to always be good and from here on out get better and bigger. That's my feeling. So I'm going in to look at Smart Cannabis. It's just smart. Smart Cannabis, up 56% today. Pink limited. It needs to go current, and that may be why it jumped so hard initially. It's hard to remember all of these. Verified profile, excellent. Transfer agent, perfect. I don't know why they're calling them a shell company. I am almost sure Smart Cannabis is doing business. I am almost sure of that. Let's scroll on down to see what is current here. All right, we got any news? No, I haven't had any news in 2 years. Maybe they're not doing any business. And quarterly reports, well, the 24th was the last, 24th. Yeah, this is probably what got them running in the first place. Let's go take a look at that chart and see if I'm remembering this correctly and see if there's any push for tomorrow. All right, so here we are at SCNA Smart Cannabis, 5-day, 5-minute, 4 hours, 6 month. You can see I have been in this before. This is a cannabis company. God only knows when I bought it. We can see when I sold it. And let me see when this was. This was my entry period for TBPMF, which is another cannabis company, but they've created a drug you vape, and it gives you pain relief in less than 3 minutes for the worst pain, cancer pain, and it's an FDA fast trial. It was bought at 30 cents. It's now 20 cents, and I'm not worried about it because I expect it to be, you ready for this? $300 in over, well, let's just say 12 months. That's right, I do. Check into it. I've got a video, TBPMF, Tetra Biopharma. Check it out. You may want a piece of this pie too, especially since it dropped. So we see that this has had a huge jump. And now if this was just a small bounce down here, I wouldn't think much of it. Matter of fact, let's take a bigger picture of that. 4 hours, 4 month. This was just coming back up to even here. That was just coming back to even. Virtually a cup and handle here, folks. And at the end of the handle is liftoff. And it looks really good. Now, I guess this wasn't the one that had the huge gain I thought it did the other day. Well, here's 0001, folks. 0001. And remember, when they squeeze this all together, from this bubble, 0001, to this price right here, 135, a penny and a third, you are talking over 10,000% gains in that chart view right there. So when it gets this small, it's very difficult to see the gains, but there are some huge gains down here. So, do I think it's going to continue running? That is the question. Well, let's come back in on that 5-minute look so we can get a feel for how the people felt. Looking at 5 minutes, I do see that the volume is increased. It doesn't look superior, but it was growing all day. Wow, that's 1 day, huh? Let me back that out. Okay. All right, so she started to grow about midday. And I don't know why. I can't tell you what revved her up. Maybe people started seeing it kicking up a little bit here. I don't know. Twitter was just saying, we saw lots of volume. And people will jump on board for that. And it will get it moving. So this is climbing. The 10 is now about to cross. It has crossed the 200. Has crossed with the 20 as well. Looking at the 15. Well, the 20 has just crossed the 200. Lots of volume in the back half of the day. MACD has had a crossover and is coming down. She doesn't look promising. Not promising for a bump in the morning, but that doesn't mean she won't continue this growth pattern of whatever it is she's got going on. I'm looking at this, folks, and we're down now to 76%, down to 50%. Not real big gains. Now, don't get me wrong. I took a 43% gain today. You saw that, and I was happy. You saw that too. So these aren't bad gains. I'd take them any day. But for DD purposes, I think we've gone as far as I need to take us. I know you can go the rest of the way. And that is my biggest hope, is that you're not just taking that list. That list may be crap today, could be dynamite tomorrow, but the fact is you can make that list better. You can continue on with the DD, find things I missed, find that catalyst, because you now know where I go, what I do, what I look for, where I find it. You know all my secrets. I've given them away, and I like doing that. I want you to continue doing that and make that list bigger. It shouldn't be that small. It should be bigger. And every day it's going to change. So, keep up the DD. Learn all you can, but don't go running around the internet looking at 40 different pages trying to compare information to see if it's updated. What's the float? Blah, blah. Folks, make it easy for yourself so that you can learn more faster. Remember, my favorite saying, say it with me, the more you know, the more you grow. Thanks, folks, and see you tomorrow.